$60,000 for that 5 acres.
I'm gonna call this meeting to order. Looks like we've got everyone here. Oh, have to. We've got some chairs over here. We need to. April minutes. They are in the process of redoing Rosalie's office. So she was not able to find the extra stuff that we were wanting her to include with those April minutes. So we don't have anything to actually vote on at the present. So if you will wait and next meeting, pick that up then. We'll have those. So we'll have both this meeting and the next. We'll go ahead and get something submitted. Well, your form that you turned in on commission will have that you were there. So everyone should still get paid. We'll get those minutes put in as quickly as we can. You got anything, Rosalie, that you want to go over?
Right now, I'm taking attendance. Could I have your name, please?
Bryce. Last name, Dahl. First thing on our agenda is update from planning on.
So, as he mentioned already, I came into work one day and they said, hey, we need everything out of this office. So that meant everything got shoved into cardboard boxes, and as far as being organized, I wish. So I'm not really sure where different things are. In fact, when we have to go and look for old permits, it makes it an adventure. We're still waiting for them to come in and start looking at what we're gonna be doing for flooring, and things of that nature. This month, or this past month, we're doing a lot of the remediations from the TOSHA inspections that we had done on the EMS building, as well as the convenience center for public works. There were several findings that were pretty serious, and they are being corrected. I noticed they have to submit the information to me, and I in turn submit it to TOSHA, and we work through a plan. But that is all going very well, and we should be done within the next 30 days. We did have a walkthrough, an open house at Enbridge, at the compressor station, not the solar array side, and that is coming along very nicely. It's about 75% done. Those things that they had talked about in the various meetings when they came and we were making requests about the dark skies, they do have those lights up, and they do have the dark sky bulbs in there as well. They're pointed down, and they will only come on when they're supposed to. It's pretty impressive, everything that they have gotten done. The buildings that are there are in the shape of a barn style, which is nice, because that's what they said they were going to do. They are white right now. I'm not sure if they're gonna be painting them like they said, where they depicted, the white top, the white roof, and the red siding. They are about 65% complete on laying all the pipe through the rest of the county. And then once everything is done, there's still, the target is November. That's when they'll start coming back and giving things back to where they're supposed to be. As far as roads, people's properties, where they have the easements and things of that nature. Okay.
I was up there Sunday, most of that pipe's gone. Most of it's all gone, still some.
And a power com.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they're also storing it in Smith County.
Yeah, that's
as
just
well.
about gone up there too. Over right there by the racetrack, there was probably 20 pipe pieces they were loading in.
Wow.
One of one worked over. And then now the other places, it's got about gone too.
All right. So we'll go ahead and if there's not any other questions for Rosalie, we'll go ahead and move on to the first item, the temporary use regulations. Believe you should have this little packet here. So on our last meeting, been a minute since we've met. We ended it with wanting something in writing to kind of review instead of just the discussion, because we'd already had that night of discussion with the food truck vendors and we gotten a lot of feedback from them. So I wanted something that we could actually tangible look at, go through and make edits so that we could actually put something together ourselves. So Rosalie has found this and it, at first look, it's rather impressive in the detail. But this is from Columbia, Tennessee. This is what they use, and you should have an example of their ordinance with it also. So this is set up a lot like our blasting permit was set up. So it gives all the different information of what type of event you're having, when the start times are, whatnot. Application's name, organization, all the contact information there. And then it talks about, what kind of food, what might be at your event, whether it's going to be prepped or food truck or no food at all. So that you can kind of set up what kind of inspections are going to need to be for these events. And it sets everything up that way. So as you'll notice, it has a section for yes, no, and then, different types as you go down there. So this might be for just like a carnival, or it could be a smaller event. So it's kind of a universal form that you could fill out, gathering all your information. And depending on how big your event is, depends on how, which items you're checking and how intense the permit process would be. Looking at this, and I just went through this myself, getting my business license for the first time. In Trousdale County, to get a business license, just to legally operate a business in the state of Tennessee and have your sales tax, you have to go through planning first and make sure that where you're going to be doing business is properly zoned for that business. Once you get that, they give you a printed out sheet saying all your information. Yes, you're legal to do this. That goes to Rita. Rita does your license. This process, I don't see where it would be any different. You would come to planning, you submit all your stuff. The planning department reviews it, says, okay, you're good to go. You go over to Public Works if you're doing it on public land, in the park or whatnot. You pay your fees that are already set up, and you're done. We have all the information needed for all the contact stuff. We have all the insurance. All that proof is there, which is what Rosalie's office is good at doing. Then they go over to the Public Works department, which that's your cleanup fees, your actual rental of the pavilions, preserving the park. That's what they do. So you're not creating a new process.
This can only be done by going to the planning meeting once a month?
No, not, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
The building office.
Oh, okay.
Her office, not
What do you think?
the committee itself,
Okay.
no. It'd just be like getting any other permit
Right, got it.
through planning. I guess maybe codes and zoning might be a better, so people watching don't get confused.
Thank you.
Also, what I'd like to point out is that basically this is an application to have an event. And we would need to kind of match it to what we have listed in our ordinances as temporary use. Like I noticed on here, the type of activity, we don't have farmers market, we don't have a block for that, so we need to add that to this type of format. The charge for this application is only $25 because they're applying to have a permit to do this. And looking at the various things, basically what the building office would be doing would just be ensuring, just like if somebody was getting a building permit, well, do they have everything that they need? Do they have like a site plan? They need to have something like this. And in fact, that's what, if you're renting the park, you have to show them what pavilion you're going to be renting and things of that nature. But what we would do, we would say, you know, we would look and see, okay, well, if they're gonna have this large crowd, what roads are they gonna be closing? That'll be marked off. Have they spoke with the sheriff's department for coverage? And we would get, information from the sheriff's department, what are they going to be doing? Notifications of EMS, if you're gonna have a large crowd, you're gonna need to make sure that EMS is aware of that. In case there's any type of emergency, medical emergency, that we have that there. Also, we need to let the fire department know too, in case, again, any type of emergency, they need to be there to put something out, whatever. You know, that they're all aware of what's happening with this, and I think this, going through this type of process is going to make it where everybody is being treated the same and not one type of event is being held to a different standard as another type of event, or another type of event. Because I think in the past, I'm kind of hearing that other people are having to jump through certain hoops and other people aren't. So I think this is gonna make it fair and equitable for everybody concerned, and everybody knows exactly what's expected and what needs to happen.
So just a question, like, and I just assume they still have it. Once a year around, I guess it was homecoming, the school would, well, we're not here anymore, so I don't guess they walked down to the, I guess they don't do that anymore. Walk down to the courthouse and have a pep rally. Assuming they did do that, but they've moved, so I'm sure they don't. Would that be a mass gathering that would fall under this?
You know what, I'm glad you said mass gathering, because that's one of the things that I would ask. That the title of this would change, instead of having it be a mass gathering, just have it be, you know, an event. So a march, a rally, a walk, run, I think they would apply for this.
Because that was a pep rally.
Mhm.
You're still having to shut roads down. I mean, even for those pep rallies, they would shut that road down beside the courthouse.
Police
So-
lay
You
in
just
it.
showed my age.
I went to those pep rallies too, so. No, and I like that. And honestly, I don't want anyone to look at this and say, this is what I'm proposing for this body to do. Like I said, this was meant to be a framework to look at so that, okay, well, that's a neat way of doing it. Do we want to change some of these things? Definitely the mass gathering doesn't really help us. Everything on our ordinance is temporary use. So temporary use application should be the title of it, not the way that Columbia did theirs. In the ordinance that you provided, is this ours or is this theirs?
This is theirs. This,
Okay.
it has mass gatherings, special events, and this is how, I like how they're going to find everything. So if anybody has any questions, well, what does this mean exactly? They have a definition here that outlines like sporting event, any activity conducted in the normal operation of the campground, anything like that. And then it's all dealing with them. We can look at it and say, okay, well, this looks like it would pertain to our jurisdiction. We can kind of
Mhm.
highlight that and say, okay, let's move that over here. Let's put this and put together an ordinance that will really speak to Hartsville, Castle County.
And that was one of the things that I was noticing on the temporary use regulations page. It's labeled the top 5.040. They're number 2, the limited duration goods and merchandise.
Oh, no, that's yours.
That is ours.
That's ours.
So that already states, that you can obtain a 30-day temporary use permit for the sale of goods and merchandise on open lots in any district. So that's ours. We already have that.
Mhm.
What we were talking about on the last meeting was right now the 30-day is the least amount you can get a permit for, correct? On a temporary use, according to the ordinance.
No,
But you could do single day.
You can
We
do
were
a
talking,
single day.
well, we were talking about doing a single day and doing a weekend.
You could
And
do a
then
single
doing-
day or you could do as much as a month.
Right. Well, and then the farmer's market was up to 6 minutes.
Yeah. Now, I remember that.
because of the growing season and everything. That's in our ordinance already.
So looking over this, now that you've got a copy of our actual temporary use regulations, which I think based on our conversations on the last meeting, some of this needed to be updated and looked at also. So number 8, the temporary dwelling unit in case of special hardship, that's in our zoning also. Am I correct? Because I remember going over that
It is.
because that's state law that allows that.
Mhm.
But if you look in there, it actually, so the permit for that is a 12-month permit. And it says permit may be renewed for up to 6 months at a time. Total time for all permits not to exceed 18 months. And I don't know, I know going out of town before you get to Goose Creek, there's a double wide that's been put in front of a house there. I'm assuming that's a temporary use.
No, it is not. That is it's on a separate parcel of land. That
Okay.
is a building permit.
So that was subdivided off.
Yes, it was. Mhm.
I saw that, I was like, that's in the front yard. That really shouldn't be sitting there. But if it's a separate property, then
It's a separate.
there's nothing you can do about
All
it.
you, first time you saw it.
Well, it is a
It's just a little bit of an
Oh,
eyesore the way
there.
it's, yeah,
main street.
Turn sideways.
yeah.
Mhm.
No. Is there anything anyone else wants to go over on this?
No, I mean, I think that I appreciate getting this guideline from the city of Columbia, because that's a good thing to use this framework.
Yeah.
To actually go through, make it, because it's not one size fits all. We'd have to steer it our direction, but it's definitely a good framework to go by.
So what I'd like to do, like I said, we've got 2 more meetings before the election. I want to get something by that last meeting. I'd like to have something to turn over to the full commission, so we can say, we've completed a task, and whatever happens to the election, Mr. Nolan's obviously not going to be with us. You're not going to be with us either. So, it'd be a different group. I don't, Jeff or I might not be here. So things will be different. I don't want the next group coming in being left with what we started. And this, actually be just a waste of the next meetings. We do need to come up with something on food trucks. I know we had talked a lot about that last time. There's a lot of discussion. We need to get something down in writing so that we can add that with what we already have. I believe the discussions last time was doing categories of temporary use permits. So the day, the weekend, the 30-day, you'd have 6 months for the farmer's market. And then there was back and forth discussion, best my memory can, of doing a 1 year. But
It's on there.
yeah, so it's already in the ordinance. We just need to make sure we're not excluding anything that's already there unless we have a reason for it.
Right.
To me, this is just falling underneath the cleaning up of ordinances that we started when we did the whole zoning. Now this is taking another ordinance, cleaning it up, updating it. So if we do need to make changes, we need to make those changes, but be able to justify why those changes are being made. Some of this is because of the way things are now. Food trucks aren't even listed as an issue because, well, when this was done, we didn't really have a bunch of food trucks. Now we do, and everyone enjoys them. So we just need to have a regulation so everyone's on an even playing field. Any thoughts on how we do that? Do we need that many, time period classifications?
Yeah, I think that was the consensus of our vendors that came in here and spoke on their own behalf
Mhm.
is that they would, the 1 month thing, month by month it didn't appear to be fair to them. And I heard what loud and clear they were saying.
Yeah.
They should be, be able to be granted a minimum 6 months, or I would say a year. If I'm not mistaken, are they not allowed to do that in Sumner County?
They were in lots of different counties, and in fact, I went back and was reviewing, the minutes, and it was in here too. What I do have in front of you, and I've also been talking with some other people as well, suggestions on what a permit fee would be, like a 1 day permit, and it looks like this one.
I have it here somewhere, it's clearly.
So a 1 day permit fee for a food truck would be $50. And they would still have to come into the office to get this permit. We would have to verify all those things, do they have their health inspection? Do they get their fire inspection and all that kind of good stuff? 3 days.
From Tazewell County or from any county? The health and fire.
That's a
That's
state.
state.
It's staying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And then, go ahead.
it just seems. I guess, I guess there are some vendors that would come in and ask for a 1 day permit. I'm not sure.
If if somebody's having something at a park and has food trucks there,
Mhm.
do they still have to get this permit?
Yes.
In all
I would say
honesty,
$50 is too high for
I do
something
too.
like that.
I
I
do
think
too,
that's
because
the
some of these folks are coming in here, they're rolling the dice.
Yeah.
They're either gonna make a bunch or nothing, and that $50 is just a gouge. I feel it's a bit high.
Okay.
I honestly, the 1 day or the 3 day, I don't know why we just don't have a 1 day and a 30 day.
Okay. Well, and that's what I was asking a second ago, as far as time.
A
frames.
30 day and then a 1 year. Because
Well, and I was thinking a weekend for, weekend event,
Yeah.
but
do we
We don't
have
have-
weekend long events?
we don't
Not
have a
really.
ton of,
No.
not currently.
No,
But
there's a 1 day or a 30 day, the 30 day.
You make a minimum 3 days.
Yeah, 3 day, 30 day in a year.
Well, and that's why I kind of threw out the 1 day because we currently have several 1 day events, car shows and whatnot.
But would that be inclusive of a 3 day? 1 or 3 days?
It would be, but you would expect a 3 day to be more than a 1 day permit. And if you're just coming for 1 day, you wouldn't expect to pay as much as if you were coming for 3.
Well, they'd be spread.
I'm almost like set the 1 day price, but give them 3 days.
And it's
That
just
makes
three,
sense.
it's just 3 times what a 1 day.
No,
No. Whatever you think 1 day ought to cost, but 1 day price,
3 days.
you get 3 days. That covers
So
that
a
covers your
1 to 3
weekend.
1 to 3, that's what I'm thinking, 1 to 3 days. We're just now starting to see a variety come in here, and the opportunity to have this variety. Yes, sir.
Could so I think one of my questions is, if you have an event planning an event,
Mhm.
already getting permits for this event, are you still gonna force all these food trucks to come in and get their own permit too? Or do they fall under that event's permit?
That's what I was asking.
It's due to the fact that we are now having to fall, how do I phrase this? All that is verifying that you've got your health permits, your fire
Don't they all
inspections.
have to have that posted in there?
Yeah, but it's posted, but you get the copy of it isn't not on file in the office here. When they come in, what they file for their permit, they have to bring that stuff and show it to you.
They'll need to bring it. and show it
That's
to us.
apparently, these are issues that have developed around, and it's just kind of starting to land on our toes, is why it's brought to our attention.
Well, it sounds like you've got 5 or 6 that's doing what they're supposed to, then you have 1 or 2.
And that's exactly what's happening. And the thing is that I personally don't want to do anything to run you guys away.
Yeah.
I think it's a wonderful thing to have the food trucks come.
Yeah, it's awesome. We're so excited that the events are finally starting to
Absolutely.
build and people are getting involved and helping. That's my biggest fear is if we make it too hard. For all
You
these
go over to
people.
Sumner County and they make it difficult, especially in the city of Gallatin. I was blown
But
away.
all the vendors want to go there because they make a lot of money.
Sure,
Where in turn, we're Hartsville. They may make some money.
they may not.
They may not make a dime, and so it's more important for us to have them here than for them to come here.
Mhm.
Rosalie,
Are you all
Oh,
aware
Judy.
in our,
Judy, Rosalie.
So the idea, like these, food truck permit fees would be for like the freestanding food trucks, not necessarily associated with an event. Now, I'm thinking if you have an event, the event organizer has to have a list of all these food truck vendors, correct? They should be responsible for getting a copy of their food truck licensing and turn it in when they do the permit, the application for the permit. That way, we know that everything and, that it's gonna have to be followed up on. But then the food truck doesn't have to pay a permit fee to us. They're having to pay a permit fee to whoever the event organizer is.
And that's between them and the event.
That's what I was getting at.
That's what I asked them.
So, yeah,
My thing is that if we have an imposed fee, 1 to 3 days, I wouldn't, $50 is steep. Because I've seen these guys, some different vendors come out here and just stand there and nobody's there.
Yeah.
I can't stand that. I mean,
but then you've got, so we do have like the event center out there on Tupelo, the wedding venue there. And so they already have a permit, they have a business license,
Mhm.
they're already, they function. If they have a food truck come in there, I would think that, well, temporary use does apply to private property also,
I thought this was all just due to.
based on the current ordinance.
So right now, you don't pay to go out there? Is that what? I'm not
No,
saying
no,
you, but
I'm just, I'm just asking, once you hit private property, how do you control that?
That-
This was due to, this was in the city limits inside, I thought this
More
was
like
inside
on county.
urban services, county property, municipal property.
Well, the statement I just made is based on the ordinance that we already went over, and it does say for temporary use, you can be on someone's private property, you still have to get a permit for that temporary use. That's current law. That's nothing we're doing or talking about. I'm just explaining what's
Yeah,
already on the
that's
books.
some of the, when we have been for the last 3 years and some change, untangling the mess.
Yeah.
Of,
Yeah.
we were county and we were city and now we're metro. The codes and zoning laws on both sides of the book they didn't line up at all.
Yeah.
And so we have spent over 3 years cleaning this up. There's one side that is a complete, it's like completely contradictory of the other. And it's been on the books that way forever. And
It's
so
kind of
what
like
do you go
telling
with?
somebody their farm's gotta be mowed to a certain height of grass, but it's hayfield versus.
And so it's
Yeah.
I've seen it
all the way
tons
down,
of
I mean,
places.
all the way down to, setbacks, and everything for building. It's not gonna be this, you wouldn't expect it to be the same on the rural setting versus inside urban services. So that's what we're trying to do, is trying to clean it up. So the current law says, or, what we have currently on the books is that you'd have to have a permit for that. Is that something we want to look at? I mean, that's up to the will of the body here, but.
Well, and honestly, I would think it would depend on the event that they were having because of the size. You still want inspections to happen for safety reasons.
I mean, I go to events where people bring a food truck in that hosts the event and they just pay the food truck the flat, whatever
The food
they
truck
charge.
becomes a caterer.
And they become, like a caterer. I mean,
Yeah.
Live Nation brings some sort of a food truck
Mhm.
backstage to my shows every week.
Yeah.
And they will have an ice cream truck. We'll have a coffee truck there in the morning. We'll have an ice cream truck. And then we'll have, I can't stand it. I mean, I've had so much Mexican, I can't eat. I can't do it. But they'll have a taco truck or something out there. I'm like, good on you, have all you want, but,
Yeah.
but Live Nation brings that into backstage at my shows every week. Somewhere.
And out at Core Civic, they must do it that way because they will put a little sign up saying, such and such food truck will be here tomorrow. Stop and get your breakfast and your lunch. And the employees don't have to pay.
Correct.
So it must, Core Civic is paying them a flat fee, I'm assuming.
Yeah, and I would not consider that an event.
And no, I wouldn't either. And then on the reverse of that, so the Gallatin Hospital, Summer Regional they have a rolling deal of every Friday, a new food truck comes and it's the food truck charges the people. They're just giving the permission for that particular food truck to be there that day. So they still have to deal with all the Gallatin regulations and whatnot, although it's still on private property. They still have to be licensed. They still have to verify through Gallatin to operate in the city of Gallatin. So I think that's something that we need to clean up in our current regulations to make it a little more clear.
And fair.
So here's what I'd like to
I
do.
think most people would, on private property, they'd be like, why do we need a permit to
Yeah.
bring a food truck on my property?
Exactly.
You know, now Lafayette's got a food truck court now,
Yeah.
apparently, where they can come in, pay a fee, they set up and it's on private property. I don't know how they've got it all worked out. That probably would be something to look into.
And this body has
There's one off
discussed.
109 too.
Yeah, this body has discussed doing something like that. If we end up building the jail beside the current fire hall, we have that acre property across from the current jail there at the park. That's a full acre. You could gravel that and you could set up multiple food trucks.
And also be used for parking for
Yeah.
events
Yeah.
as well, but then when it's not, then have a food truck thing.
Yeah. And-
Every Wednesday or something, you know.
And you would do a permit thing for that because you'd have limited space. And so it'd be a first come, first served situation. So what I'd like to do real quick, just so we can keep things moving. So let's just start with throwing out suggestions of the different length permits, what we think the fee should be for those length permits. And then we can just talk amongst ourselves and negotiate and get something nailed down that we all agree on, and then move forward to the next subject.
1 to 3 days is one, and then maybe a 30-day in a year.
Also too, I know we keep saying permit, but I know what really prompted this was the fact that vendors, the food truck vendors, do they have a business license here in the jurisdiction? So.
Are the tax dollars coming to
yeah,
Trousdale
do
County,
they
or are
pay
they going
sales
to
tax
their
through Trousdale County?
other counties? So
Is
that
a
is-
separate issue, or, I
The
mean,
thing is, if somebody comes in from another county.
Yeah.
And they're licensed in the state of Tennessee.
Yep.
Their sales tax will collect back where their license is. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that.
so and yeah, at the same time, if I buy
I think
something,
there's a legal right or an addendum we can have for them to pay it here.
because
I don't know if that would work.
but if I buy something online, my sales tax comes back to Trousdale County. It doesn't just go to the state. I mean,
Understood.
we found that out when Enbridge bought all that pipe and surprised us with a good chunk of sales tax. So I wonder, that might be something, that's a question I'll pose to Mr. Beller, to see legally how that works with the sales tax, because if that's the way it works and the state divvies that money out, then we just need a process to tell our vendors, so it's already being done through the state and the way they report it. And that'd be an easy cleanup of that, and that should at least get some of the brick and mortars to calm down a little bit.
And I understand that too, because they've got
Yeah.
a lot of capital outlay and they're almost, everybody's struggling.
Yeah.
It's 2026.
But several of our brick and mortars started out as food trucks.
That happens, yeah.
I mean, at least 2 of our coffee shops started out as food trucks, who are now complaining about food trucks. So
I mean, I get it.
we have to make room for up and coming entrepreneurs and to let them grow so that we can have more brick and mortars. I mean, that's what we're supposed to be, in my opinion, that's what we're supposed to be doing, is helping the entrepreneur grow the business to something that benefits both the community and the county. I mean, that's where we don't have to raise property tax if we can make it up in sales tax. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. So right now I've got the 1 day at 50, 30 day. What are y'all thinking?
I think 1 day at 50 is fine.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Well, that's a discussion, starting point. So if we're going to do a 1 day, a 30 day, and a 1 year, I mean, obviously, you do $25 for a 1 day. That's an application fee.
Because likely the ones that are coming in here for 1 day, they're coming in here from wherever.
Yeah.
On a roll of the dice.
Yeah.
And, if they have a good experience, they'll come back.
Yeah.
And they may look at,
So
a
is
year.
the 1 day then limited on how many times you can do a 1 day?
No, I wouldn't think not.
And it's 1 through 3 days.
Tell you what, because it's 1 to 3 days, 1 month or a year. But here's the thing, is that if you're at $25 for a 1 to 3 day permit, it doesn't take long to get to that year 150. So I mean that, Ray Charles could see that. It don't take very many of these, like, hey, we're just by the year.
Well, and that's kind of what I was getting at. I mean, if we have it set up where, you know, it's cheaper to do a 1 day 30 times than it is to do a 30 day, then you're just gonna keep doing the 1 day permits and it just becomes more work for Rosalie's office.
Yeah, if you look at that map, that's not linear.
Yeah,
It would, yeah.
Maybe you ditch the 1 to 3 days, you do a 30-day and a 1 year.
Well, I mean,
That
that's,
would be a lot
And
less
throw
painful.
a, have a weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
yeah.
but
that would
a
be-
1 day or 30 day.
So you
I mean,
do it
I mean, a
1
30
day,
day,
call it a
a
weekend.
30 day or, I mean, I like this. That's great. Thank you.
That's still a 3 day. That's still a Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
But you hear the gentleman's suggestion, a 30 day or a year.
30-day year and then a weekend.
No.
No.
You do a weekend.
No.
Weekend.
I mean,
That would give them an opportunity to maybe set up 2 or 3 times throughout that month to test the waters, because maybe they're just testing the waters, and then maybe the next time they come in, they're like, hey, I'm gonna do a full year because this is a good business.
That does take off a workload from Rosalie's office.
Well, so you probably can't base what you're gonna do off 1 day anyway, because
But
depending on what the day is.
yeah,
What it's want to do.
that's why 30 days.
Okay.
I like that even better. Thank you.
So 31 year. All right. So then as far as it, what's the minimum fee in your office? 65
For what?
for anything. The lowest fee that you charge for a permit
It's $100.
is $100.
You can't do that.
That's on 30 days. You were going to do 25 for a day.
If you do 50 on a 30-day and 150 on a year,
That's fair.
I think
everybody is gonna be like, you know what, just give me the whole year, because I may
Yeah.
want to try it out.
Yeah.
You'll wind up getting that money even if they don't set up
Sure.
more times. I would gamble the $150
To have a
The
year,
whole- have the whole year.
to have a
but
year's
you
worth of
don't-
opportunity. Absolutely.
I'm just thinking about these ones that, like, if it's something at the park that's probably only gonna be here 1 day,
Yeah. They're just
through the
coming
whole
back.
year.
Well, but now that would be something that would be fall under the event that Rosalie was talking about.
Okay, that's
So
where,
they-
where we're going with that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's their event thing, and then they just got to negotiate
The
it with them.
event takes care of the temporary use permit, and then everyone who shows, all the vendors
Pay them a fee.
take care, you fall underneath them.
So
So-
when Jamie puts on events downtown for downtown sound, all that stuff.
Mhm.
The food trucks are the only thing that we don't charge a vendor fee. Because we need them to come, because without food trucks down
That
there,
brings the people.
people don't hang out,
Yeah.
because they're gonna go home and make dinner.
Yeah.
So all the other vendors pay a fee to have a spot to set up, but the food trucks do not. And they're all shocked because everywhere else they go, it's $500 for a spot.
Yeah.
But those towns don't need them. There's tons of food trucks in
Yep.
Lebanon.
That want to go there.
Yeah. So here, we're begging these places to come set up.
Well, and rightfully so, Lebanon, Gallatin, they already have the crowd. You're wanting to be there because of the crowd.
Yep.
Here, we're trying to
build the
generate
crowd.
the crowd.
Exactly. And I mean, it's
So
It's
it's
incubated.
starting to grow, but
Yeah.
Potts, I got to give Potts all the credit. He has done an amazing job with downtown sound. Luckily, it's been building and building and building. So, we want to keep that momentum going.
And like I said, this body, I've not heard anyone at any point during the meeting or after or before, I've not heard anyone wanting to discourage
No, not at
the
all.
temporary use at all. Everyone.
We just want
has
to
been-
become legal.
Yeah.
Because we got two sides of the page, like I described earlier, that's contradictory of the other. And then we've got things that's been, as this has grown in popularity, we've had situations snowballing in the state, so it's starting to land on our toes.
I like the idea, excuse me.
Yep.
50 for 30, 150 for a year.
Yep.
But make sure we get the sales tax.
Well, again, we got to find out
That's
from
something
legal
we
if we can do that, if they're business license in another county.
How do y'all pay yourselves?
I mean, she's a brick and mortar.
I'm a brick and mortar, so
So it automatically
She
comes
really
through. You all have a-
we don't, we're here, if, just to let you know why we're here. I host events downtown a lot, and so we just wanna know that we're following rules and what to tell these vendors and these food trucks and.
We help Mike with downtown sound, we help put a lot of that stuff on, and so it's important for us to know.
Yeah.
What's going on and what we need to be telling people and make sure that we're following.
And honestly, at this body, until Rosalie kind of brought it up to us, we didn't realize how messed up it was, what was already on the books. And like I said, we started the big project and we got it done. And now that doing that project shines light on all the little ordinances
Yeah.
that need to be looked at and need to be corrected. So this is just the first one we're hitting. Unfortunately, we're up against an election and the body is liable to change. So we're trying to do something reasonable that we can actually get accomplished before things change over.
Full September.
Yeah, so, well, I'll hear a motion on setting the fees and times, 30-day at 50, a year on 150.
Motion.
Second.
So I got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Any opposed? So there's that. So
Thank you.
that'll go on the, as a growing framework. So now that we have the food truck permit fees and time set up, it still kind of falls back to the same permitting application that we have here. You would just, Rosalie can use it to collect the same information. They wouldn't have to fill everything out, but it gives a spot.
I mean, you
For
can say food trucks,
insurances.
you know, skip to this line here.
Exactly. And so we can write that up and come up with another section, because it has a section for food. And, you know, vendors and merchants.
Yeah, and you just move down to this line.
Yep.
Yeah, move down.
They've got a food truck section, so we could easily kind of plug that in.
There's just, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Like last time we met and Helene and Cash headed out all the different ordinances from the various
Yeah.
jurisdictions on what was needed for food trucks. Some of those things that are on here, common requirements, they'll need to have a business license somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm seeing here too. I also have a copy from Tullahoma on their food truck. So if they provide a business license from another jurisdiction, then they shouldn't have to get one here. Health department permits, fire inspection, so we'll need to massage this a little bit. So if we have a section just for food trucks, put these type of things on there: business license, health department permit, fire inspection, driver license, identification,
Liability insurance.
liability insurance, thank you so much. It says waste disposal requirements.
I think that's if you have a dump station in town, which we don't.
We don't.
We don't have a dump
No,
station.
no. So.
And that is something also that we're gonna have to look at, especially with the idea of having kind of a food court with food trucks. If you start setting tables up, the state of Tennessee requires bathroom on facilities if you have more than X amount of tables.
Yeah.
So that's something the state already requires. So there's really not a reason for us to pile on top of what's already law. That's part of the health code stuff that they have to deal with. So I think doing a separate section of requirements. I know we discussed at the last meeting the fire suppression stringency that Gallatin put on the food trucks. And everyone seemed to be in the same mindset that that was more than what we need for what we're doing here with the amount of food trucks that we have. There's no reason for a full, suppression system.
They literally ask the food trucks to have the same level of suppression as what they have at a brick and mortar steakhouse.
Yeah. And you're not dealing with other buildings besides you. You're not dealing with a complete different fire risk.
The state has guidelines on that.
Do what now?
The state have got with it. We should.
Yeah,
Do
and you
more
kind of have
than
fire
that.
extinguishers. Yeah,
Gallatin's exceeds.
yes.
Is there any
It's a-
reason that the food truck couldn't email all that stuff to you and you send them a permit? Why do they have to take a day off work to drive here?
That should be through
They
the.
should be able to do it online.
Right.
The software.
I thought we talked about this last time.
We didn't come to it was like, it ended that they have to come in person.
They do, because we'll need to verify who they are, and they have to pay the money. We're not set up to accept online.
Online.
payments.
It'll take a whole day. It'll take a couple minutes to
Yeah.
just jump in.
Well, to drive here if they're from Nashville or where they're from.
So, and then also to,
They could mail an application with a check.
Can
they can mail a check, they sure can. Copy of the driver's license, but we need to see that, if we're gonna verify identification, right? Don't we need to see the person?
Cause they can send somebody else to drive it.
So Right.
Yeah.
So we have been into the idea, I know this is a separate topic. Just like Rita's office is open a half a day on the weekends. Rotating out, being open half a day on a Saturday. The only thing is that if they're accepting money, the
You're
trustee's office is
not
open.
close. Yeah, you'd have
So
to.
I'd have to keep money in the office.
Or card only.
So is
Be
the,
able to-
Can't do cards.
Why?
What about all
They
these
do at the
business
drivers, they do when you
vehicles?
pay for your license plate.
They haven't set up my office. I'm gonna be looking into that. Our permitting software. If you pay the right money, you'll have that module put on that software, so that might be something we can go ahead and start doing.
I mean, electronic payment is inevitably gonna be very important.
Very.
Albeit if it's with wire transfers for large sums or whatever.
Correct, I agree.
And as far as verifying who they are, you send off for a passport, you're just sending information. They don't know it's you.
yeah, you have to go in front of someone.
Yeah,
Who collects the
The
information.
first time you do it, you
The
can
first
renew
time
it.
you gotta be interviewed.
You can renew it on.
Then a renewal you can send by mail.
I will.
I don't know what kind.
Down to the clerk's office.
Yeah,
Clerk
that's
will
what
figure it
You
out.
knew me, I didn't get an interview.
That
I
was,
actually got my passport, about a month ago, and I had to go before, Sumner County Clerk, and I had to show my identification, I had to swear, I had to take an oath, and I had to sign, yes.
yes, ma'am.
It's
I had
gotten
mine a couple
tougher
years
post
ago.
9/11.
Same thing. Yep.
We went to
On my age.
Amsterdam, we had to do it all.
So with the budget now passed, there is a little padding in your budget that should be able to cover this. I have talked with Candace, who has the plat printer, and there is a way that she's willing to work with you to be able to use her printer so that you didn't have to buy your own. And that money could then go to doing the online payment system and more than cover the cost of the upgrade on the software. So that is an option that we can look into. But we already have, I wasn't aware that we even had another plat printer. That's why I was in support of you getting your own, but she rarely uses hers. So all she needs is the difference in the supplies in her contract. So that would take care of that.
I have spoken with Candace about that, and the times that I've taken things back there, it did not work.
The printer did not work, or, okay,
Scanning in.
then that's something
That's
that we
what I
need.
need.
Is it a
That's something-
format issue? Probably a different style.
I'm not really sure,
So-
because I wasn't really able to.
So that's something that'll need to be addressed for both departments then. But that's another subject there, but it shouldn't be that much with the fees that we have. This should take care of some of that. I mean, every other place I go to, if you use electric payment, debit card or credit card, there's a 3% fee for using a
We can
card.
put
versus-
in the, plus 3% if they pay them.
And that covers the transaction fee, so the county's not paying that.
Right.
I mean, hey, you go to Hartsville Alignment, if you pay with a card,
Yeah. okay,
there's
yeah,
a little bump that you get to
Yeah.
pay.
You go to the veterinarian's office, you gonna pay it 3%.
Yeah.
About everywhere you
So
go.
y'all okay with that, the 3%?
Well, and we are when we are
Once
in
we
that.
get it, once
Once,
we get it.
yeah,
I have one more thing I want to bring up, because we have talked about it before on this. We've talked about in the county, like the strawberry event festival, they would have to have permits and, you know, who I'm talking about, the strawberry festival.
In Portland.
No,
No,
here.
on Starlight,
Strawberry patch.
yeah, Strawberry Patch.
So we've mentioned out in the county and we've mentioned ours just in the county. We need to kind of come
No,
to a conclusion.
and my stance, and y'all can, the majority rules here, but my stance is we're a metro. And a temporary event is a temporary event. It should, however we structure this, we should structure it for the whole county.
Right.
That way there's no discrimination from one or the other. And you're just as good in one district as you are the other. But that's my thoughts. So I think that's what gets us in a lot of trouble.
I know
With some of
we
these-
need to come up with an answer tonight so we can move
Yeah.
it on.
It gets us in trouble because we're all old enough to remember city and county.
Yeah. But we haven't been that in
I
20
said
years.
it gets us in trouble because we're all old enough to remember city and county.
Yeah. Well,
So what's
the
gonna,
old city council.
so what's gonna happen? I'm for it actually,
Mhm.
but my question is, what's gonna happen when this girl that I'm talking about is putting on her event? How is she gonna know she's supposed to be getting a permit, be getting bathrooms and be getting permits for food trucks? How is anybody gonna know this when it's a change? I guess we need to notify people of changes some way.
Just like we do with everything else. It'll be posted on the website. It'll be, the meetings are all televised. It'll be posted in the newspaper.
Yeah,
I mean,
Judith, I can we'll put this in the newspaper.
That's where we do. I mean, honestly, Charlesdale County is the driving force that keeps the VIDET functioning with all the fees we pay for all the postings we have to do. I mean, we're their biggest contributor.
$1.50 for about it.
I mean, so yeah, that's the only, that's all we can do. I mean, every media source we have, every time something comes up, the county publishes in it. I don't know what else, other than going around knocking on every individual person's door.
Right.
Well, doing a mailer to every citizen, we can't afford that either.
Yeah.
I do think, I agree that the county should be treated as,
Well, it has to be legally now.
Yeah. All right. So we've gotten the food truck situation squared away. Is there anything on this form y'all want to see removed?
No, I thought this form was something like I said, it was just a good,
What's this?
a rule and guide. We just gotta
And then
manipulate it to fit our needs, yes.
that's what I'm asking. Is there anything y'all see on here that's just egregious? It's just, we don't need to even fool with it, just need to strike it and move on, just to
I
get.
just thought the mass gathering thing would be,
Yeah, yeah, the name change. I got that.
and you were gonna put another little check box for something, farmer's market.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now there is the second red section there, applications will not be reviewed if not received. And that just seems to be a procedural thing that's kind of redundant.
Well, it's actually on the floor plan, because they're asking for a floor plan,
Okay,
if that's gonna be used. And then the site plan, it's saying the same thing, applications will not be reviewed if not received, so.
so their section is actually for indoor events also.
Looks like it.
And I don't know if we need to really worry about indoor events, because with the facilities we've got, those would be handled by the property owners who are renting out their space, correct?
It could be that, the convenience, community center.
Mhm.
Making sure, that they're not gonna be having 500 people and 250 occupancy.
So
The
and
goose guy.
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, really, those are the two event spaces we kind of have. I mean, you're not going into churches and asking them to,
The school has.
the school does have like,
Has some events down to high school.
yeah, beauty pageants and whatnot.
Yeah.
Are we gonna
As far as
expand?
indoors, exactly, that's what I'm asking. I mean, that's in there, so do we take that out? Do we leave it in there? If we do, how are we gonna address that?
Well, with large events such as that they have down at there at the high school,
Mhm.
the car show, the fair.
Mhm.
Those event organizers are on point. They have everything already mapped out. They know who's gonna be where. These cars are gonna be over here, food vendors are gonna be over here. So they already have a site plan. Even the fair has that. It's not gonna be beyond
What
what they're already thinking and what they already have in their mind on what they're gonna be doing for that event.
I don't know.
It's not gonna be far fetched.
Like, like you said, the beauty pageant, you want to get technical, beauty pageant is no different than a football game, basketball game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can't ask the school to do
There's
this. You can't.
an event fee for a football game.
I don't know if it needs to be in school function.
If it's a school, if it's in a school, put on by the school.
Then, yeah,
Did the food serve a football game?
I don't know.
And been to a football game in a year.
I haven't seen them.
I haven't, I mean, usually.
It'd be welcome.
Stand, yeah.
What's that?
food trucks at football
I
games.
definitely.
There would be some people who say wouldn't because the concession stand,
They
the
have their own.
Yellow Jackets
I know.
thing gets.
I get it. I get it. It'd be nice to have the variety.
Yeah, it used to be anyway.
Yeah.
I guess my question was like, when you're talking about having permits for big events,
Mhm.
if you're gonna charge the car show that's a nonprofit
Mhm.
to have a car show on property that we already pay property tax to cover.
Yeah.
Are you also gonna charge the football team to have a football game? That's an event. That's where I'm getting like,
I mean, that's a legitimate point and consideration.
there comes a point where it's like, okay, where
Where do we draw the
where do
line?
we draw a line?
Which was what we
You
discussed
almost have to
originally.
draw it as for profit or not.
Well, because
But
that was
then you
something, that was something we were discussing with the park. You know, at what point do you
Yeah.
have to get a temporary use versus
If
I'm
you rent
having
the
a
whole
full.
park, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you're trying to take the whole park over, you want all the pavilions, you pay a fee.
Well, I know the big event that they were having with all the vendors at the park, they were coming in and just saying, okay, well, I'm just gonna rent 3 pavilions. And then they were taking over the park. I don't think that's giving a false statement of what your event's going to do.
There was a lot of leading.
A lot of misleading
There was a lot
information.
of,
that was
yeah, a
given.
lot of misleading information that was distributed with us. So absolutely.
It's just hard to
It does. So
make a
if that's the reason.
black and white line when everything is somewhat different.
So, I mean, you can do it as
Well, I
the
don't,
population of the event, how many people are going to be there, because then you got bathroom considerations and whatnot that have to be put in there.
But there, again, you run into the football game might have 3 times as many people as they have at downtown South.
Yep.
And you're gonna force them to buy a permit. Little league games, I mean, all that stuff, it's still public property.
But those aren't necessarily temporary. Those are done every year seasonally. And they're done sponsored by the county. Because we did talk about a car.
I don't know that we need to get into athletics and things.
I don't think we do, honestly.
I don't think we should get into family reunions.
And that was the point of the discussion last time.
That's why I brought it up. Either, but where's that line?
Yeah,
But that wasn't that a safety and sanitary issue?
it was. How big's your family reunion? I mean, is it 30 people? That's fine. Is it 200? Well, we don't have enough bathrooms to support 200, and you're putting an undue burden on the county to maintain those bathrooms for your
Not to
event
mention the mess. It'd be
and the
like.
cleanup of it. Yeah.
Public
So-
works.
So at some point, Public Works has to make that determination of, sorry, so what constitutes just renting out a pavilion or 2 at the park versus a big event? And I think it comes down to the number of people.
How many people are down there when all those little league teams are playing? And we let them
I'd say
use
there's-
just the bathrooms there.
We do.
And I don't think we should, isn't it?
Okay.
I guess my
But that's
question
just
was,
Yep.
I guess my question for the permitting was more about public taxpayer property versus private property. If the people out on Starlight are having something out there that's private property, they already pay their property tax, they cover their own insurance.
Mhm.
I don't know how you charge them a fee to have something on there. They could say, these are all my family members, we're having a get together, we're having a cookout.
And that's a valid point, which was part of the cleanup of this ordinance that I was wanting to
It just-
address.
Municipal property for profit.
Absolutely.
And
I'm about with you on that.
Okay.
In which a family. reunion
If you want
is
for
not-
any kind of safety or anything else, you can still, like, just say Starlight,
It's not.
you can still make them, can't you still make them have the permit but not charge them?
I mean, that's still a business license situation there, that they are conducting business in Trousdale County,
Who?
the strawberry patch. So if you're on private property, I don't know what these
Probably
do.
different.
I'm sure they
it
do.
does.
You start looking at.
And there's state laws that prevent you from discouraging agricultural business. And it's very broad. I was educated recently with Rosalie on some of that. And I was surprised because a lot of that, when we were going through the zoning, completely went against our zoning.
USDA trumps everything.
Yeah,
when
well,
it comes.
The state passed some laws about 2 years ago, was it, Rosalie? Or was it 23?
It was 2018
Okay.
dealing with farm.
And it just never trickled down. And then she brought it up to me and Rick showed me the actual state law. And there's a ton, you cannot regulate agricultural business just because the state is trying to actually get
Bolster it.
more, yeah.
So that's good, so that leaves the strawberry patch
It does.
free and clear.
But it still comes back to municipal property, private events. Is what we're gonna do for.
Municipal property for profit.
for
Yeah,
profit.
I mean, you're just gonna, and I agree with them, you're just gonna make somebody mad trying to do something on their own property.
Yeah.
And charge.
And I think that really does fall into a property rights thing.
Mhm.
Um,
If
Because,
it's
I mean, at that
temporary,
point-
now if it's,
yeah,
if it's long-term deal, they're supposed to have,
but then that's a business license and.
even if it's zoned for that.
Exactly.
If this becomes an issue, we take it back up.
All right, well, I'll entertain a motion on that. Okay. So Judy makes the motion and Lonnie seconds it. So that's gonna be, so that's, okay, so just
The motion is municipal.
municipal property
For profit.
for for-profit individuals. And that, so you got food truck locked down, you've got requirements, Lonnie did. You've got requirements now for that, so you know who has to get the permit. And we've got a format here that we can adjust and bring back of what that form will look like. And I think that's a heck of a lot of work done in one night.
We got it right here.
And I think that is a fair and equitable situation. It changes the current regulation. So it does actually reduce some of what was already on the books. So anyone who wants to throw out that famous gross overreach of government, we're actually reducing some regulation on this. So we do have to vote on that, don't we?
Mhm.
All in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? All right. I think that was the gist of this meeting of what I wanted to really get nailed down. We've been talking about this for so long. I know planning brought it up a year or two ago, talking about food trucks when the barbecue shack came in from Dixon Spring and originally set up. We started looking at it then.
We just had to get through all the combined orders.
Did they ever have an inspection or license?
They did.
They did.
And talking with Dwight during that process was real enlightening. That's how I knew about the bathrooms. And he only had a couple of tables set up. I think it was more than 6 tables. You had to have a bathroom facility. Where the way he was set up, the state required him to have access for his employees, which they were allowed to use the liquor store's bathroom. So that's how he covered that. But because you only had the 4 tables there, he was able to just say it's a pick up and go. You're not staying to eat. So it's more of a
For you to
picnic.
sit down and wait.
It was a picnic style is how he stayed right at the minimum there. So I want to thank everyone.
Let me ask something for you.
Yes, sir.
Close. Somebody brought up about the inflatables again.
Okay. So there was actually some more clarity about that. And forgive me for not knowing the exact details. I just know the overview. As we all know, a lot has happened this week. A lot of information has been thrown at me personally. There was a group that is having an event. They are having inflatables, and a lot of people are wondering, well, we're not allowed to have inflatables. What's the deal? They actually have a liability policy themselves for their inflatables and the property that their inflatables are set up on. They brought proof of that policy to the mayor's office with a letter showing that the county would not be held liable, that they assumed all liability for the inflatables.
And that was on county property?
On county, and that takes care of any issues with the county's insurance.
That's all
I
I
know
was
there was
asking.
a state mandate on that. There'll be no inflatables.
I
No,
thought
it was always the
already
county's
insurance.
insurance policy.
Okay, it was the county's insurance that came back to us and said no.
Exactly. And so this satisfied the insurance company and it allows that to happen, which is my understanding is all the mayor's office was asking the other individual who was having an event in the park to do the same thing and they refused.
Right.
So the whole point was if you're not going to provide your own liability for your inflatable, you cannot use it on because the county's policy won't cover it.
You can't got a Facebook.
The county does have a Facebook
That
page.
needs to be. put on there.
I will
Explain
discuss
the
that with the
situation.
mayor's office
As
and,
the one that owns the inflatable, I would really appreciate that too,
Okay.
because we're
We
getting
got thrown
used
under the
to
bus.
being
That's not fair
criminal.
either.
yeah,
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 and this is something that we do for free. So you don't charge. We purchased it outright, you know, we pay for an insurance policy, we get waivers signed by every parent, and like no exceptions, they all get wristbands. We have someone physically manning it to make sure it's safe. There's times we shut it down when it's not safe.
because of wind conditions and
when
whatnot.
it picks up, we drop.
Whatever the reason.
We've never been against them. We just,
No.
when the insurance company says no,
We're not against it.
The full commission hasn't, they didn't even, we weren't even aware of the
And so
issue.
the insurance company brought it to us.
Yeah,
Well, we watched the commission meeting where it was, a meeting where it was brought up that we were illegally setting it up on the courthouse lawn, and it
But I
was
had permission
very
from-
frustrating
the mayor.
that happened.
and that's the,
We had a lot of phone calls from other people who are like, hey,
there
you
are
still
some
doing
people,
illegal stuff? And I'm like, what?
there are some people who like to say that we have permission from the mayor without actually having permission from the mayor's office. So, yes,
Sure, yeah.
you have had permission from the mayor's office. It has been submitted. There is no issue with that.
can we print them off of something that says they're
I will have a conversation with the mayor's office
Do
and
that because
I want you to have some documents where if somebody does question you.
You guys have the yard sign you can stick up.
Yeah.
You know, this is
Yeah,
done by, this is done by permission.
and we had the safety rules
We
weren't
did,
made
yeah.
up that goes out there. So I mean, we've tried to do everything the correct way, and it was very frustrating to watch that meeting. And
I understand that.
well, and that's the whole point of us trying to get through some of these regulations is so that the people who are doing the right thing get to do the right thing and continue on. And the ones who are trying to circumvent the system because it's cheaper, easier, or they just think they have a right to.
Yeah.
They should be held to the same standard as everyone else because that standard is there for a reason. It's there for the safety of the community and to reduce the lawsuit liability of this county. Because every time we're sued, that's tax dollars going to fight that lawsuit or settle that lawsuit, however it may go. So
just in all openness, I was so mad I drove around town, took pictures of all kinds of city property.
Yeah.
Because I was furious, like terribly mad.
Yeah.
And so I've got, if you'd like some safety issues, I've got a slew of pictures of things that definitely could be major lawsuits.
well, one other thing that was brought up before we adjourned, I have had a county citizen reach out to me wanting to get some answers on the use on the old Texas boot factory. So I'm just saying it now on camera so that he understands that I did receive his message, and I'm looking forward to his conversation on exactly what his concerns are. I know there have been several people who have mentioned it's become an eyesore. It is industrial, so there's quite a latitude of what can be done on the property because it is industrial. I personally don't like the idea of us having industrial zone property in the middle of town of residential areas. But it is what it is, and that's the way it's zoned.
Well, it wasn't an issue when it was Texas boot and everything was inside.
Yeah, there
Wasn't
should be
it-
an,
It wasn't an issue.
It's a name.
It wasn't an issue when they said that everything was going to be conducted inside and it wasn't going to be a junkyard. But as Ms. Rosalie just mentioned, it's an active case that is being looked into. Therefore, that's all that's going to be said about it, that it is being looked at. It is not just being excused. So that being said, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. One more thing.
Data centers. They're
That's
coming.
what I'd like to say in the planning commission meeting this next month. You are welcome to come. We're gonna be looking at two different ordinances from other places concerning data centers, and we'll be doing a training.
And that's why I haven't brought it up here yet. I wanted to get that open and bring that information to this body so that we can, because that is a big thing. We've got two data centers that are being protested and pushed out of Nashville.
Here's my thought on it.
Where do you think they're gonna head to?
That's what I was bringing it up.
They should only be allowed in one place.
Turned them away, they sued them and they won.
And the only reason I say that is
Data center got
because
put in.
Right.
That's what, thank you. Thank you.
That being said, we could actually have it set up because of the infrastructure issues that we have currently. Planning could actually, I guess BZA would be the authority on it, but the county could actually tell the data center coming in, okay, if you want to come into Trousdale County because of its location and right here on the river, because of the infrastructure issues, you're going to have to support yourself. So you're going to have to pay for a water treatment plant in order to be able to supply the clean water to facilitate
Sewer
your
extensions, everything.
everything.
No, well,
And if they do that self-sufficiently, then that's a nice little boon for property
We
tax.
got plenty of room out of power con.
that's the place I
And you
was.
really want it out. You want that at all here.
What's, tell us.
It's a
why we don't.
legitimate business. If it meets the
Tell us why we
requirements in an industrial, we can't tell them no.
Something
But we
about
don't
water.
know what all they
Yeah.
do to the surrounding area.
Yeah. Pretty finished?
We haven't adjourned yet. We're talking about the data centers. So,
Sorry, my kids are.
but that is why I haven't brought it. We have picked that up in planning. Rosalie and Amanda had already started the process of bringing that information to planning, and I didn't want to get ahead of them. I wanted it to get much flushed out on that body, and I can bring that to this body, and then we can fine tune it for anything that needs to go before the commission.
But we'll definitely take the headquarters of Starbucks, evidently someone running for governor don't want it in Nashville. We'll take that.
I don't know if we can build they can only be 35-foot tall buildings, so I don't know if we can support.
We could do an
But
amendment.
that's only
No,
because of the fire.
That's the
engine,
fire
isn't it?
department. So if they buy us a big fire
There we go.
Yeah,
there we
there you
go.
go.
The ladder truck costs a little over $1 million, small one.
All right.
Smallest fire.
Anything else? All right. Any?
I thought that's what you had.
Yeah. I'll get it out.